Hello everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's the third Friday of the month, so that means it's time for another sketch from volume number 6. And this month we're working on pattern number 13, along with Erin Jacobson and some other members of her team. There are 2 examples in the book, and you can turn the sketch to do it like the bottom example, but I'm going to do my layout just like the top one. Okay, so the photos that I'm going to scrapbook are continuing my Ouray Telluride trip. So on the next day, my husband and I, we decided to drive the Million Dollar Highway, and we stopped along the way to take pictures, and the fall colors were just gorgeous. So this is the Million Dollar Highway from far away in that picture. And then there's different pullouts where you can take pictures. So our friends that we traveled with opted not to go with us to Silverton. They stayed back and did their own thing, which was totally cool. And so my husband and I, we took off and had a great day. I decided to alter the pattern a bit. I printed out 2 more 3x4 photos instead of the 4x6, and then I printed a smaller photo of the sign that said Ouray is the town of Ouray is considered the Switzerland of America because of the way it sits among the mountains. I don't know, I can't verify that. I have not been to Switzerland, so anyway, that's what it's known as. So I took a picture, and then also of the view from the lookout. So the papers I'm going to use are from Winter Meadows, Country Woods, Season of Green and Gold, and I thought about Season of Elegance, but then you'll see I changed my mind. And then I'm going to continue that tree line zip strip this is from Freshair, and also from Freshair is this forest, I want to say DSP, pattern paper from Closetomyheart. Okay, so I'm going to do this big circle with this forest design. I thought that would look kind of cool. So I'm going to cut the circle out of that. And then also I'm going to use a base. This is a color, it's called Sea Salt, and Closetomyheart would have been coming out with this. And so they offered it up in the liquidation sale. So I got some of that, and I like that it's a little bit darker than Glacier, and so that forest background will pop just a little bit more against this. Okay, so, and then I'm going to use also some older peacock color for some accent pieces. So let's start out by cutting our circle, and I've done this before, so I'll skip ahead. But I'm just going to use a tool. It's an older tool. It's a Martha Stewart circle cutter, and there's a couple companies out there that make a similar one. There's one from We're a Memory Keepers, and Competitive Company also carries one. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description below for one that you can get on Amazon. It's the same basic design tool. So I've set it at 9 inches, and I've placed it on the pattern paper so that I can get the peaks of those taller trees. And just going to cut all the way around. Sometimes it's a little sloppy, but you can go in and trim it up with some fine tip scissors and smooth the edges out. So then I'm going to add some of this wood grain paper from Country Woods. And I need a piece for the left page at 3 3/4, and the other one is 3 3/4 by 8. So I'm making sure, for some reason it just looked like it was not 12 inches across, so I'm just checking, and it is. So I got that one for the left, and then I'll bring a fresh sheet in and cut another one at 3 3/4 by 8. And that's most of the basic pattern. Okay, so now I'm deciding, do I want to use that Season of Elegance, kind of the peacock color, or do I want the green? from Season of Green and Gold. So I'm lining up my tree line zip strip, and we'll try the other one. Nope, I'm liking the green underneath that. Okay, so I need 1 inch for both sides, and I'm going to turn this because I like the lighter version of that design. I think it'll pop better against the darker wood color. And then the right panel is 8 inches across. So we'll set that up, see what it looks like, and pop that circle on top. I think I like that. And then I need to trim down that zip strip again to 8 inches. So we'll bring the trimmer back in and chop off 4 inches, and the leftover is 8. So that's good to go. All right. So I'm going to bring in my pictures, and we'll lay everything out according to the pattern. And I'll switch up the way I've got my pictures laid out, but as far as the space that it takes up, I just want to be sure about that. So I'm going to mat everything with Old Olive to bring out that changing color of the trees in the pictures. And then off camera, I'll change that up a bit more. Okay, so I'm going to bring in this pattern paper of all these trees, and this is from Wintermeadow. And I'm going to do the circles that are along the right side of the right page. And I'm just looking because I want to reflect the same pattern on the left page. So I'm thinking about that. So I'm going to use this circle from Spotlight on Nature, and I'll be cutting that out. And so off camera, I've matted my photos, and I decided to do a double mat with Peacock and Old Olive. I thought that popped a little bit better with the double mat. And these are my circles. Okay, so we're getting there. So I want to reflect that same Wintermeadow pattern on the left page. So on the pattern, you'll see there's an area to journal. So instead of journaling, I'm going to bring in this pattern, and I'm going to stamp on it. Okay, so I have this stamp set. It's called Road Trip, and it has this highway, a twisty-turny highway image in a stamp. So I'm going to stamp that on this pattern paper. All right, so I'm deciding if I want to use Peacock or if I want to use, I'm going to use this one. It is, what color is it? Pebbled Path. Looks more like a highway. So I'm going to stamp that out instead of doing journaling under my large picture. So we have our highway with lots of switchbacks, just like the $1 Million Highway. And there we go. So I'm going to trim this down so it doesn't take up quite as much space vertically underneath that photo. I want it to get it stamped out first, and then we'll bring the trimmer in. So you'll see a lot, if you research the $1 Million Highway online, you'll see a lot talking about how scary it is to drive, and it's not. If you're okay with sheer drops off the passenger side of the car, you know, $50, $100, $100-foot drops, sheer drops off the edge of the highway, and no guardrails, it's fine. I grew up here, so I'm kind of used to that, but I don't find it that scary at all. So anyway, okay, so I have cut out my title using the Slim Alpha thin cut set, and surprise, surprise, it's going to spell out $1 Million Highway. So I have backed them with 1 layer of cardstock because I want them to be able to bend with the paper, and I need them not quite as stiff as chipboard, but I did want a little more oomph to them. So I did add one layer. And then I thought I wanted to go with the curves a little bit more. So I'm going to bring in my old corner rounder. Haven't used this tool in a long time. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and round the corners of this stamped piece. And I like that. Okay, so we're getting there. So I have cut a piece using the Deckled Edges dies from Toffee, and then I did some journaling on this piece. So I'm going to bring in my sponge tip distresser and tool, and I'm going to ink around the edges, just like I have on my previous pages. Kind of keep some continuity amongst the whole topic with a series of pictures for one trip. And I did my journaling on this spot, and it's going to fit in that circle. Okay, then I'm going to bring in another die. This is from the set that is called Stylish Shapes. And off camera, I've cut out a circle in peacock. And I'm going to bring in this embossing folder. This is from Frosted Forest. And I'm going to emboss some trees on this piece of peacock. So with 3D embossing folders and white core cardstock, it's always good to mist the cardstock with some water to prevent cracking. And I'm just looking for a spot on the embossing folder, which trees I want to emboss on this piece. So I wanted a little bit more than just a single tree, so I'm going to do it in that spot. And off camera, I've run it through my machine, and it gives this beautiful, nice, deep emboss. So I'm going to do some more treatments. I'm going to bring in my splat box, and this is Uncharted Mariner Spritz from Tim Holtz and Ranger. And I'm going to spritz this quite a few times, and the spritz has sort of a pearlescent effect, and it looks so cool with this emboss. So I'll bring it closer to the camera so you can see it some more. Love that. So cool. All right, so we're getting there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pull this panel over, and that emboss piece is going to go in the center there. And it kind of reflects the peacock color that the title is in on the left page. And then that little sign picture is going to go in that bottom circle. And off camera, I'll go ahead and round the corners of that photo as well. Okay, so my favorite stamp set, Frosted Forest. So off camera, I did a whole bunch of stenciling and stamping and die cutting. And I'll link my previous video that shows how I did the stenciling for all these pieces. I die cut everything out with the coordinating dies. So if you want to know how to do the use the masks, I will I'll link that video so you can check that out. Okay, so I have a bunch of these in several different colors. Continuing along with all my trip pictures, I've got Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Shaded Spruce, and let's see, Garden Green for these. And I thought I was going to use the deciduous trees, but it just seemed too crowded. I'm going to leave it there for now, kind of trying to work that in. But I want to place some of these trees around the circle in my photos. So we'll tuck some in there. And I'm going to pull that deciduous tree. I think I'm just going to go with the evergreens. Still trying to use it. But yeah, it was just too much stuff. So I wanted to clean it up, and eventually I pulled that one. We'll do some of the evergreens. And we'll put another one on the left side of the photo. I go with the smaller one. Okay, so off camera, I've glued everything down. And then to finish off, I found these gems. They're super old, but they have different colors of blue, and they had a really pretty glacier colored gem there's sparkles that are in several different colors. So I'm going to scatter a whole bunch of those around. And Stampin' Up has a similar one in the same color, and I will put a link to that collection so you can get basically the same embellishment if you're interested in that color. So I will put close-up shots of this layout on my Facebook page, so check out over there, give a follow, and you'll be able to see some still shots and close-ups of my layout. And check out the rest of Erin Jacobson's team photos or layouts using pattern number 13 for Make It From Your Heart Volume 6. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And then you'll be able to find all of my videos. And thanks for watching.